you have been chosen for the spirit gods or whatever, the goat fucking Hillary Clinton Bilderbergs. Like,
What's going
hey,
on?
how about this?
Are you kidding?
Okay.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Screenshots. We are going to go over the scariest movie scenes ever, or at least in our opinion. Some of them are from our childhoods that really frightened us. Some of them are pretty recent. Some of them are weird, and we couldn't even find the scenes for them. But these are all scary scenes that we think are scary.
Or horrifying.
Or horrifying, or it like you think
in
about
our
it,
opinion.
and you think about it too long, and it's just weird. They don't know Adam, Troy, Johnny, and Amanda. That's who's on the podcast today, by the way. They don't know what scenes they have. I know everyone's scenes though, because I have to pull them up. But it's gonna be really cool. There's gonna be no extra game. So we're just going to talk about these scenes. But if you guys want to know what the base layer foundation game is for Screenshots, the Drinking Game podcast, go ahead and take a look at the description. Otherwise, we're ready to go.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah, spoilers 100%. 100% spoilers on everything.
Ah!
Usually if there's a bonus episode, it is spoilers. Who wants to go first to show us a scene that really scared you? Not you.
I vote Troy.
Troy, you want to go first?
No, Adam, because it's A, the first letter in the alphabet.
I like that.
We'll do mine first. Oh, can I do my shout out? Yeah. Yo, shout out Jared Polero, an avid viewer of the show. And I got you, buddy. I did not forget you. You see, I told you I would do it. I pulled through. That's it.
What's his name?
Jared Polero.
Jared Polero.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What a guy. Love that.
Most fire monster truck shirt you'll ever see.
So what scene is this, Adam?
Me and Mark actually watched this movie together.
Adam, you're so bad at
talk
about the scene.
Adam, can you please talk about it?
This detective
What's
has
the movie?
Zodiac.
Oh, Zodiac.
Oh, I was going to
Jesus
put this
Christ.
scene.
Yeah, so this detective has been
He's not a detective.
he's a reporter
He's a
working
cartoonist.
with
Yeah,
the
he's a
detective.
cartoon.
Oh.
This
He's
is
a
my
cartoonist.
nemesis movie, just so you know. I haven't
Huh?
yet finished it because I fell asleep every time.
Well, Gary Poshta didn't like it.
So basically,
The Zodiac.
this guy is trying to find the Zodiac killer. He's at this guy's house because he's the information has brought him to him, and from his assumption, he's like saying like a lot of stuff is leading to this guy, and he's trying to find information from him. So what's about to happen is this guy is gonna say, yeah, just come to my basement and take it. But what's terrifying is him like coming to a realization like this guy could actually be the killer, and he's actually dragging me to the lower part of this house, and he could actually be trying to just straight up kill me right now. So it's like the whole process of him just walking down the stairs and like going to this like deep dark area in the house is just like, I don't know, I find it very unsettling.
I was gonna put this scene, but I didn't remember. I remember watching it and being like, oh my, like you get that feeling like when you almost in a video game when somebody's chasing you and you get that like weird feeling in your back.
Yeah, man.
I got that with this too, but I didn't remember the scene well enough in terms of like how it was shot. So I didn't put it, but I was gonna put it.
It is a really good scene. I think this
Fantastic.
movie is phenomenal.
This is one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, it's so good.
I fell asleep twice. I haven't finished it
I
yet.
have not seen it, actually.
I try so
spoiler.
hard.
Fincher,
Now-
baby.
Wait,
Well, Adam
so
loves spoiling things for me, so it's okay.
is this like a long scene or is it short?
I mean, like that. I
Well,
guess
this
that's relative.
this is just the dialogue that precedes. Like there's a
No, I know. But,
There's
like,
there's a very like slow and long scene of
Oh,
of him in the basement. I don't know how long it is, but
Yeah, you could skip forward.
yeah, skip to when he's in the basement.
Yeah, he like invites him into his basement. He's like,
Mhm.
"Would you want to come see?" Like, it's fucking scary.
Ew.
And the way that he like because Fincher is obviously like a genius, and the way he shoots it is so smart.
It's just that it's the
mu-
fact that the
music-
old
music
man,
too.
this old man goes all the way to the back, and he's just like, come over here, and it's just like the fact that he's gonna have
You
to
know-
follow
you know
him
what
into
else-
it. He's getting deeper into this
You
shit.
know what else is scary about the scene is that at this point, Jake Gyllenhaal realizes that that other guy, like the bigger guy, is probably the killer. But now he's starting to figure out in this scene, oh, it's like a team of two people are the killers. That means this guy isn't the killer. He's writing the letters. Where's the killer? And then he starts hearing.
Oh, dude, that's the thing. He hears
then he
somebody.
starts hearing footsteps
he hears something
upstairs. So he's like, the team that kills people is literally right here, like both like 10 feet away from me.
What makes that even scarier? He hears these footsteps, but it's preceded by the fact this guy said that no one is home.
Yes.
And then he just pretends that he doesn't hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, are those footsteps just him freaking the hell out, or is it
Exactly.
actually happen?
Is his paranoia?
And look
It's
at him just sitting in the dark like a creepo.
Now, does this guy, like, does the older guy know why he's there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Jake Gyllenhaal came to this place to find answers about the Zodiac killer. It's like,
Right,
oh, I'm
but I
following a trail, and so that he's like, hey, this is why I'm here. So the guy knows why he's there.
Oh, okay.
He wouldn't invite him
Also,
into his home unless he knew.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I remember
Just look
watching
how
this. I
terrifying
watched
he is
this
in
when
that
I was
light.
like, oh yeah, he turns the light off
Dude,
and
that's
shit.
horrifying.
And it's also one of those things, like, as if you were Jake Gyllenhaal, you wouldn't want to run away because you don't want to make yourself look like you're scared, and you don't want to make yourself look weird. It's like social.
Oh, and then the
cues,
door's
it's
locked. The
weird.
door's locked when he tries to
As
get out,
he's running.
and you see the guy right behind him. But I remember watching this like maybe when I was like 14 or 15, and obviously like I didn't know anything about movies. But I remember watching it and being like, and just realizing, holy shit, Jake Gyllenhaal is killing it. Like you like resonate with this character so well, man. Like every frame of that movie, he's so good in this movie,
Jake
He runs
Gyllenhaal
to his
is
car.
amazing.
especially in this movie.
All right, who's next?
I think all my scenes are fairly quick, but
Let's just start with the most obscure
talking about it.
movies.
so in The Taking of Deborah Logan, I'm pretty sure it's been a long time since I've seen it, but this really stuck with me. Because it's just so fucking weird and gross and
Is
different.
it found footage?
No,
Found footage.
it's just for the scene, yeah. But she basically look.
Dinger.
So
I've
she's
seen this.
eating a child.
Mhm.
Yeah, and her jaw unhinges. She's like in a cave, and she just fucking like eats this kid's face, and then takes him into the fucking cave.
Yeah, I've seen
And-
this clip.
Yeah, so it's fucking disgusting. She's like yelling, and like her mouth is literally like 2 feet wide, and like her jaw's unhinged and shit. And they're like trying to like figure out what the fuck's going on with her. And she was possessed, and it's just like you watch it and like you can't hear it, but like the fucking sound she makes, it's like a screeching.
We can turn it up.
Can you? Oh yeah.
Just chewing, just munching
Yeah,
on
it's
a
just
head.
munching on a kid, and then she like realizes, and she just like takes the kid back, and now she's gonna like scream.
And then she's gonna.
I
She
think.
turns around and screams, and her jaw opens
Yeah, it's so gross.
like a foot wide. I saw this. I saw this scene, and it was like on one of those stupid UFO like reptilian shaped, like those people who believe that there's reptilian
Oh, yeah, yeah.
shapeshifters everywhere,
Yeah.
like the blink, those videos of people blinking and it looks like their eyes are reptilian.
Yeah.
I saw that, and somebody was trying to say like that was a reptilian alien, and that was a real
No.
thing.
Idiot.
And I remember seeing that. Like I'm like, obviously this isn't a real thing that's happening in the world somewhere.
No, it was
but
a
this is
movie.
definitely very scary.
Yeah, it is, and it was just like one of those scenes where like I forgot the previous scene. I forgot the previous scene to that scene, but it was like, you know, a normal day,
Right.
and then they just like flash back to this scene, and I was like, what the actual fuck am I watching?
It's super scary because like throughout the whole movie, she knows she's sick, but you don't know that there's something this supernatural. You know she's weird. Something's off.
Yeah.
But then you find out that crazy ass shit that's going on, and you're just like, what the hell? You know, if you don't know the spoiler, it'll hit you.
Mark, can you ding Amanda?
What you get?
She said scene.
Ooh, first shot of the game, and it's the easiest word because Johnny's that kind of guy.
Well, I could have put scene SEEN, but no, I put scene SCENE.
Oh, okay. Get her something. Troy, you want to go next?
I don't have a shot glass.
Sure.
Oh, what do you want?
You had the clip up a second ago, actually, by accident.
What is it?
Pulled up. Annihilation. So, the movie Annihilation. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've
Amazing
seen it.
movie.
I was actually gonna pick up
It's okay.
scene from there. The end
Amazing
scene.
movie. I thought it was great. But anyway, there's like a weird bubble thing, and they send army guys inside of it, and they don't come back, so they send another group of people in there to see what's going on. Long story short, people are going missing, and they hear their one
Wait, explain the bubble thing.
the bubble thing.
You
is
just,
like,
you
this
just
is a big
described.
bubble thing.
Imagine pitching that movie,
bubble.
going, "So yeah, there's a bubble thing. We all know what that is." They send
there's
them
like
in.
there's like a
Everybody
big
knows what the
bubble.
bubble is.
There's a big otherworldly bubble, and people have gone in, haven't gone out. It looks like a big like oil slick, like smear.
It's like a translucent. It's a translucent plasma.
Yeah, and people have been going in and not coming out. And everyone's like, well, "What's in there?" No one knows what's in there, and they go in, and there's like it's. I don't want to give too much away, even though I
It's
know
spoilers.
I
Just
know
give
we're
it
doing
away. Just give it
spoilers.
away.
There's like animals that are
Screw
like
you, audience.
altered, like genetic DNA. There's like a shark that's like bred with alligator, but like it's like only ever so slightly, like has like extra rows of teeth or something weird, and it's big. But we get to this scene, and people have, they go in with 7 people or whatever. A couple have died, and you hear the voice.
7 ladies.
7 ladies. Yes, ladies.
He said died.
No.
He said died.
I said died.
Oh, one of my words should have been said.
Just shut up. Yeah, so keep going, Troy.
Some people are going crazy in the film. Our protagonist, Natalie Portman, and a few others are tied up right now by crazy lady.
Do you want me to play it?
Yeah. And earlier in the film, you hear one of their dead comrades calling for help. We don't know they're dead. They're just missing. And then in the film, it turns out the cries for help are coming from this bear. And bear has like no face. You'll see. It'll pop up in a second. It's just a skull for a face, but it's making humanoid sounds, and it's so... I don't know.
I remember this. It's creepy.
It's creepy.
Because it opened its mouth. This monster opens its mouth, and you expect it to just be an animal noise, but it's human screeches.
It's human screaming and blood-curdling screams. And seeing this, I saw in theaters, and this is the only movie to like scare me in theaters. I was like, holy crap, this is so unsettling.
Can you tell us why they're tied up?
Because this lady who's going at them with a knife, she's lost it.
Wait, here.
Yeah, so it sounds normal. So she's gone crazy. She thinks that they're all out to get her. See, she's like, oh, you said she was dead. So she's tying them up because she thinks they're all out to get her. And I'll shut up for a second so we can hear the...
Yeah, everyone listening, just listen to this. Oh my gosh, this is terrifying.
The visual's creepy enough, right?
It looks like an anteater mixed with a bear.
Yeah. It's like a skinless, fleshless
mixed
bear.
with that boar from Lion King.
Yeah, so it looks like a regular animal. Well, not regular, but you don't expect it to sound like this. And
right. I'm waiting for him to do it.
Well,
it does do it. When I saw this in theaters, I couldn't believe it. I was so unnerved.
God, I didn't even think about a scene like this. This is...
That's the bear.
So it just takes the screams of the people it's killed and uses it. It's like what's that mythical creature? The
sirens.
No.
Oh, no, those are singing
the Native
things.
Americans. Skinwalkers, and there's another one too. Wendigo.
That takes the screams.
Yeah.
Isn't a Wendigo like a Wendigo is like if you go into like the mountains and you eat another person to survive, you come back and you can't eat anything else but humans or something.
Sure, that is creepy.
It unnerved me so much. The only time in a theater that I was like uncomfortable. I'm like, this is friggin' this is uncomfortable. This is weird.
I thought about putting this scene, but I also thought about putting the end scene.
The end scene's weird and creepy. Oh, you got to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it now.
Yeah, it's unreal. And this isn't like a big. This is like only halfway through the film. So.
I watched it with Adam actually.
That's unfortunate.
I remember. I was like, where did I discuss this with? I feel like I remember discussing it with you, Mark, but I wasn't like.
Me and Georgie saw this together. Shout out Georgie. Yeah, I just when it comes to just pure like scary scenes.
Yeah, that
is
is crazy.
Like characters in movies don't scare me, like Freddy Krueger, but and monsters don't scare me in movies. But this did. This I was like, I'm gonna remember this. This is memorable.
This I didn't think the movie and as a whole was like
she
really
gets
great.
murked.
Yeah, she does get killed.
She gets eaten.
I wasn't like a big fan of the entirety of the movie because I have some gripes with the way it ended. But the soundtrack in this movie, everybody.
Oh my god.
That's the scariest part of the movie, I think. The soundtrack, like at the end, the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! Like I couldn't go to sleep that night after listening to the music.
Dude, bit her jaw off.
This was an experience in theaters. Whoever saw us in theaters is very lucky.
Yeah, I saw
in theaters,
I saw in theaters.
Yeah, let's listen. Wait. Oh, I thought they were gonna make a. What are you gonna say?
I saw in theaters and I was like, because I don't really get weird stuff.
I love weird stuff.
But
when was this? What year?
2018.
Oh, I didn't think it was that new.
Yeah, it's very recent.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. It looks fucking awesome.
I'm sure it's on
Alex
some
Garland,
streaming.
who did Ex Machina.
So now, Johnny, it's your turn. What do you want?
I'm gonna make a movie. If the movie was about robots, you can have sex with. You can call it Sex Machina.
Nice.
I'll do for the first one. I'll do a nice movie a nice mainstream movie for everybody, and it's one I saw when I was a youngin'. that really freaked me out, and I'd always fast forward through it when I was a youngin'. And it's the hospital scene from Spider-Man 2.
Oh, great scene.
Sam Raimi.
What a guy. He's doing Doctor Strange too.
Yeah.
Let's hope that's
They
good.
should, dude, what if he was?
Oh shit.
What if they're like, hey Sam Raimi, why don't you do Doctor Strange for us? And he goes, okay, and then he comes back with just like with Spider-Man 4. Like he filmed Spider-Man 4 behind their back. But so this scene is after the artificial sun or whatever. Maybe like I don't know, like halfway through the movie or maybe at the end of the first act. But the artificial sun goes wrong and Spider-Man has to unplug it and it knocks out Doc Ock when he has get rid of that ad. Thanks. But he gets rid of he gets knocked out and they're gonna surgically remove the arms from Doc Ock, all these doctors. But what they don't realize is as they're about to cut into the arms on the surgical table, the arms gain sentience, and they start killing a bunch of folk.
How old are you when you were watching this? How old were we?
6.
6. Wow, that's crazy. How long
Imagine
ago
like this is for children. This movie, well, not for children, but a lot of children were meant to see this movie, and this is the most horrifying scene I've ever. Like
Oh
this,
my
it's such a throwback to like that kind of like 50s horror, like the close-ups on all the screams and stuff.
It works though. It all works.
Dude, it's so
I
horrifying.
don't get
the one when she here it's coming up when one of the Asian nurse gets dragged into the dark and her nails are going and I remember being like, put the sound on.
Her nails are going
Oh, right here. Watch right here. They're throwing all the the arms right here. And she gets dragged into the darkness by. I remember thinking like, Jesus Christ, this was the most visceral. This is the worst thing I can ever imagine when I was little.
There's no score, which is great.
Yeah, it's just silent. That's how you know a scene's. And he just with the chainsaw and shit. Oh my God.
I think this is a good scene, of course, but I don't get too afraid by like robots and stuff.
Yeah, same.
No, this freaks the fuck out of me, man.
Well, I understand
just
like at your
ruthless.
age, like that you were. It would definitely be
Still,
scary.
this is like giving me like nostalgia scares.
Can you believe we're gonna see this guy again?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I've
but
seen this
there's
scene.
no way they'd pull something this ballsy in No Way Home.
And there'll be CGI the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is annoying.
Like that's what the good thing about it. Like it's obviously it's like early 2000s, so it's mostly practical.
Remember that scene where Norman Osborn just jumps on the glass after he turns into Green Goblin? That was also pretty.
Oh my God!
It's crazy. It's crazy because I see a manic old man about to
Right.
attack me. That's
Major.
And then he grabs him, and he goes back to formula, and then he throws him like 40 feet. These movies, man, I watched the first Spider-Man fucking religiously when I was a kid. Like I know
Same.
every frame of that movie. And I remember a few years ago I went to watch him with my little sister because she had never saw him before, and I was thinking like, shit, man, what if I watch them and they're not good? And then I watched it, and I'm like, nah, this is awesome. It's so awesome.
no,
It's cool.
you can't do this to me.
I like how Doc Ock is
how
kind
much I
of
sacrificed.
yeah. I like how Doc Ock is kind of just like a chubby guy.
He should be. He is a chubby guy in the
Yeah,
comics.
it's
It's
funny.
Yeah.
bowl cut.
All right. Who's next?
Let's go for Hereditary.
Yo, that's my scene.
Hereditary, the decapitation
Oh,
scene.
Mark, I think I will go with my fourth scene.
All right, go ahead, Amanda.
Oh no.
This was fucking took me by complete surprise. I saw this movie in theaters, and this kid's just fucking driving down a highway with his fucking sister who's choking.
Well,
And
she's having a reaction.
yeah, anaphylactic shock or something like that. And so he's speeding home, trying to get her help, and she's just trying to fucking breathe. And
She had nuts.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's having an
that's
allergic
what it was.
reaction.
Yeah, it was anaphylactic shock. So she's rolling down the window, she's trying to get some fucking air. And then this scene is just, I was like, what the actual fuck? I've never heard a theater so silent. He swerves because he thought he was gonna hit a deer, and then fucking she gets decapitated, and the sound is what got me.
Play the sound. Go back 5 seconds.
Yeah, the sound is what got me.
Couldn't stop laughing when this happened.
Or swerves. Yeah, pull.
Just, it was so much worse in the movie theater though.
Well, yeah, because when you're at the theater, you could like feel the sound. You
Yeah.
know.
And like you heard like some people were like, ah, but then like there was only like 2 people that did that. Everybody else was just like in silence, and you can hear everybody breathing.
Yeah, like after that
car,
scene, the next 30 minutes, nobody says anything.
Yeah, dude.
This is the most anxiety. Right after, even the part where he gets home and he's in his bed, I was just like, if it was me who did that, I would have the exact same reaction.
And he just leaves the daughter in there when he gets home.
Like what would you do? You would pick up that head and bring it to your
like,
I would play music on the way home and do my skincare routine before I went to bed.
Like he accidentally killed his sister, but like he didn't, you know? So like he just like didn't know what to do. So he's sitting in the car just like thinking about what the fuck just happened, crying, upset, and just like it was so weird in that theater.
My jaw, I remember when I saw this, I saw it at home. My jaw like dropped. And for the next like 5 minutes, I just sat there. I'm like, well, that happened. Because I knew nothing going into this movie.
I thought the first and second act of this movie was like on par, even though I've never seen The Exorcist, but be like on par to be like a modern day like Exorcist type horror movie, like to have that influence on other horror movies. And then the last 30 minutes, I just thought it got too silly and just ruined it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like the first let's say it's 2 hours. The first 90 minutes is absolutely fantastic, and then the ending just sucked.
Yeah, I was very disappointed.
Yeah, I was only disappointed because they made it look silly, like you said. Like if they kept it like in a more serious manner, but you're just like it's just like this extra bullshit, and you're just like, all right, whatever.
And at the end, it's like you have been chosen for the spirit gods or whatever, the goat fucking Hillary Clinton Bilderbergs. Like
well, you know, I want to go back to how Adam was explaining. You were all kind of talking about it. How he gets home, like, what do you do? It's like I think the scariest and most like heart wrenching part about this entire scene is that going home and like, what do you do? How do you tell your mother you just killed her daughter, her only daughter? You know,
and on top of the fact, she told him not to go out to that party, but he still did it.
Yeah, dude. So like he's doing everything wrong, and then this happened on top of it, which it's like anything could have made the situation worse, but this is like the top, like the pinnacle of like what you could do wrong.
Yeah.
I would actually consider just killing myself at that point. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
that's
at that point,
so.
What do you do,
dude? The stress and weight is so tremendous. It's like, how can I go back to people with this like humongous blunder? This is like beyond. This is probably the worst that you could do. Yeah, that's
the greatest blunder.
Because he didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah. By golly, I've made a blunder.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that like. What was so scary to me was like how just quick it was. I thought maybe she would fall out of the window. Okay, that would have been easier to understand and to like comprehend than her fucking getting her head whacked on a fucking pole.
No, I agree with Adam. That was a blunder. That was basically the chess daisy. That was basically the chess equivalent of moving pawn to e4 when your opponent is brandishing a Sicilian defense. What was he thinking?
Shut up.
Okay,
I don't know what
any
of that
playing board
means.
games, okay?
No, I don't know what that means. I just picked e4 and Sicilian defense, which is the only defense I know from Queen's
Johnny's
Gambit.
obsessed with Queen's Gambit. I was literally just say that.
No, I'm upset. I'm obsessed. I want to fuck Queen's Gambit. I want to have
anyway, whose turn is it
Queen's
now?
Gambit is a person?
Yeah.
Troy, which scene do you want?
So I'm kind of cheating with this one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go with a movie called A Ghost Story, 2017.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It is so good.
Also, guys, make sure you're keeping track of your words.
No, I mean the second half is good. I didn't like the first half.
I really enjoyed it. So for this scene, I'm picking the whole movie because the whole movie is pretty much just this guy dies, and he pretty much, I guess, haunts the house him and his wife lived in, and he's just confined to that.
No. Do it chronologically.
Oh, this is the banana scene.
Say it chronologically.
The banana scene.
Pitch it, because so what happens? I don't want to pitch your movie for you.
No, what happens is they're in this house. They're gonna move out. That's all we know. And then he dies in a car accident, and he becomes a ghost. And he's pretty much confined to that house, and he's watching. You know, he has to watch her grieve, his wife grieve, and then eventually move on with her life, move out. And he's stuck in this house, and he has to, other people are moving in. I really don't want to say too much about it.
Troy, come on, Troy. No, Troy.
If
you don't, Johnny's going
at least talk about the banana
scene.
scene.
If you don't, I'm gonna ask Johnny to.
At least talk about that.
The banana scene.
That's my word. Haha. Yeah, you said banana.
Oh, got him.
That's horrible.
That's
Take a shot.
That's stupid.
Take a shot.
Okay. After I I do my spiel.
You got to spoil it.
No, I don't want to.
If you don't, I'm going to ask Johnny to.
I'm going to spoil it.
Okay.
Well, you had a point you were going to say, weren't you? Before I was going to talk?
Because you started with he's a ghost. What happens is they are in the house and they start like when they're sleeping. All of a sudden, like one of the piano keys goes off, and they have who cares? So they go and so all this stuff happens, like ghost type stuff happens or whatever. And then once he dies, you basically watch her deal with the grief of him dying, but also watch him watching her as a ghost go through it as well. And then eventually. Spoiler alert, eventually he jumps off of a building and like dies as a ghost, but then it just shows up. He shows up back to when the house was first built and like started like in the let's say it was like the 1800s or whatever. And he sees like a father and daughter like killing an animal, and they're like, oh, let's set up camp here. And they set up camp, and then they eventually just build a house, and he watches for 200 years. And then he eventually gets to the point where he watches them get haunted by he watches himself haunt the girl watch it. So like imagine right, so ready loops. So it's like a time loop thing. So imagine Mark died, right, and he became a ghost, and he was behind you watching you, and then eventually however many, like 40 years later, he jumps off the building and dies. He goes back 200 years, lives, and right now he's over there watching himself watching you from earlier.
Right.
It was a really cool, and that's what I liked about the second. I thought the first half was kind of just like pretentious and whatever, but I thought the second half was done.
So it's
fantastic.
like there could be like hundreds of me's in one room.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's fucking cool, actually.
So the reason why I didn't want to say that is because my point really has nothing to do with that. It's just the concept of you're dead, right? We all don't know what's going to happen after we die. Whether you're religious or not, we don't know for sure. We can believe or not believe. We don't know.
I actually know.
Shut up. So the concept of, okay, this can happen where you're forced to watch your loved ones grieve, move on. You may not like the way they move on. And then he's, in this house waiting for her to come back, essentially. He's waiting, and he sees another ghost, and he's like, well, what are you doing? The other ghost is like, I'm waiting too. I'm waiting. And the other ghost, I guess since we spoiled the movie, the other ghost gives up and like, like just poofs into nothing. The ghost gives up. He's like, they're not coming back, dude. And he poofs away. And it to me, like, that's horrifying. The fact that you can die and you're, to watch all this shit happen that you can't intervene. He's just sitting there watching it.
Yeah, it's like it's showing like a part of Dante's Inferno essentially.
And like, yeah, and like you, to sit there and kind of just hope, like, okay, I hope she comes back. I want to see her again. To sit there and hope that and not know, there's no certainty to it, and then seeing others around you give up, that's like horrifying.
I really like
and that's
this.
the thing. A whole city is built like where her like. He jumps off the top of the building because a skyscraper is built on top of
that
so and you look
land.
and a whole city was built in like this rural area.
Yeah, like it goes through time. Like eventually the house he's in is demolished and he's just sitting on top of rubble. And he's like, well, what do I do now? The ghost doesn't talk, by the way. It's all a physical performance, It's really cool.
I really like this because
it's on Netflix, an hour and a half long.
It has a lot to do with like the kind of stories I like to tell and I like to consume, because it makes you think of like, oh, your life flashed before your eyes when you died. Like, although it's taking X amount of years, he's watching his life flash before his eyes. I think that's really cool. I like that. Yeah,
it's a really abstract concept. And to me, like, death is horrifying because it's going to happen to all of us. I'm sorry to spoil that
Not
for
me,
you.
I'm going to live.
Not you, of course.
I think I can make
it. But,
what if it's, no, I'm not going to talk about that because there's a movie podcast. I was going to say, what if, from your perspective, from your perspective, you never die. It's just like, so whenever, like, let's say Troy died, right? From my perspective, he just died. But from his perspective, he would be in like in another offshoot or whatever of where I died, and he's still alive or something like that.
Well, that's like the whole thing, like with
from
reincarnation
my perspective,
and stuff like
the Jedi are evil.
Shut up.
Anyway, no, this movie is cool because like I want to watch it because it gives me that feel of like Dante's Inferno type thing. It's like where you're stuck in a fucking circle and you can't do anything about it, so you just have to fucking deal with it.
My brain's stuck in a circle.
The first
trying to govern
the first
nation.
Let me tell you what happens when you die.
100 billion.
When you die, if you go to heaven, you get to watch on rerun Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Adam, did you lose in a foot race to George?
Okay, all right.
But also remember this about when you die. If you die and your consciousness is separated from your body, your consciousness is also separated from your brain, and all the fears you have about death and stuff like that, and the way you perceive time is done in your brain. So you might feel differently about being stuck in something forever if you're dead.
Maybe not.
Well, this was fantastic. Who's next?
Amanda.
Oh, I need a drink, don't I?
Are you sure?
No, wait, didn't she already
next.
go?
Yeah, you're next, Johnny.
What's my scene?
What's the?
Oh, I got a good one. Or should I? No, yeah, I say it now. Do failsafe. So failsafe came out in 1964, the same year as Doctor Strangelove, and this is just the trailer for it. But it came out the same year as Doctor Strangelove, which is significant because they're both about nuclear apocalypses or nuclear wars and stuff like that. And basically, the world's military is fumbling their way into an accidental nuclear extinction type thing. And obviously, but this one was a serious take on it. And obviously, Doctor Strangelove is a comedic take on it. And when Stanley Kubrick heard that they were making this movie, he was like, "No, let's get it out sooner," because he wanted his to be out sooner. And I think this one bombed because of that. But I think this one's a better movie, and it's one of the. I was floored after I watched this movie. Like, I was in a cold sweat after this movie. When the credits rolled, I realized I was sweating the whole time. And it's just this extremely, super suspenseful movie of just 2 hours of them trying to be like, listen, we got to, hold on. And there's a scene where Peter Fonda plays the president, and he calls the whatever the leader of Russia is called, or the premier or whatever. And he calls him, they're just on the phone with him with a translator. And it's just a one shot of Henry Fonda on the right side of the screen and the translator on the left of them just talking. And you're the whole time you're like, oh my God, the bomb's dropping. Holy shit, solve this right now. And I think it's superior than Doctor Strangelove just because they're both pretty
Can I ask you a question?
What? They're both very well done critiques of the whole nuclear thing, but I think this one is superior because the fear it instills in you is way stronger than Doctor Strangelove.
I don't really have a question. It's more like maybe a conversation starter. I don't really know, but when we're talking about all these scary scenes, I could understand the Hereditary. The guy. I can't even explain that, but I understand it. If we're talking about the ghost thing, I could understand being stuck in that loop, right? I could understand all these things. And I know nuclear war is always an option, that's always there. But I've never been in a place where I could really experience that, so I've never really feared that. So can you explain to me your fear, try to articulate it in some way to really help me understand?
What do you mean
is it anxious? Is it 'cause I know you were doing a little bit of that, but. Because I believe sounds really scary, but I've never seen this. I've never experienced fear from a nuclear fallout or anything. It's is it scary, suspenseful? Is it frightening?
It's suspenseful.
Suspenseful.
But also the ending is particularly because the ending is kind of not a Twilight Zone type ending, but a pretty in Doctor Strange. I'm gonna spoil it because who cares? In Doctor Strangelove, the world ends, but it's presented in this cynical way. It's comedic and stuff like that. But in this one, there's a scene where they're on the phone. And he goes, "Listen, if the bombs go off over the phone,
I didn't know which one to take.
Any of them, you can take any of them.
If the bombs go off over the phone, you're gonna hear a high pitched shrieking noise from the rate, the way that the heat, whatever does to the telephone lines or whatever." And at the end of the movie, the final conversation on the phone, they're talking about the guys in London. There's a representative in London. And he's like, "Listen, there's bombs on the way. They're they launched them or whatever. You got to let us know." And all of a sudden you hear that guy scream and you hear that high-pitched shriek.
Oh.
And the movie just fucking ends.
Wow. Wow, that's good.
I was floored. When the credits rolled, I went, holy shit.
Wow.
And it was I've never had a surreal, or not a surreal. I've never had that as real of a reaction to a nuclear type thing except for, this was the only thing that ever made me scared of nuclear war.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to watch this
because it kind of replicates what that experience would be. Just
exactly,
over.
And it does so in a way where it's not it does the similar thing in Doctor Strangelove, that kind of idea man's reach exceeds its grasp, where we can create this thing, but there's no way we can possibly not fumble our way into destroying ourselves. Which on 2 occasions we definitely should have. Our chances of survival in the Cuban Missile Crisis was 0%, and we still somehow got out of it. But
the fact that it had that blunt of an ending. that. That's cool.
Fucking ballsy.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I do have one that I'd like to show. Shut the fuck up. So I don't. If anyone's noticed, I actually didn't show any scenes yet because I just don't have any. I reasons, but there is one part of a movie that really screwed me up as a kid. Like I was scared for like 2 years after, and I don't know when this came out.
Can I guess what it is?
You know what it is?
War of the Worlds.
Yes. It destroyed me. So I want to show the first scene from the first scene where they have the tripods. I think this scene is so scary because the whole movie in general I think is scary because it actually shows really well what human hysteria looks like. And I think one of the scariest parts about this movie, besides the human hysteria, is that they showed, like, okay, you walk outside of the theater after you're done watching this movie, you walk outside, or you're in a city street, or you're in a farm or whatever, like, what's below your feet? That is scary. The whole point is that these tripods have been in the earth for millennia, like thousands of years, and Earth is like a farm creating food in the original story of World of Worlds. They were Martians. This movie doesn't say where they came from, but I'm just gonna call them aliens, so no one get angry at me. The aliens have been waiting for humans to get to a certain point so they can be eaten, and it scares me so much seeing this tripod. And I'll fast forward a little bit. Seeing this tripod come out of the ground, and it just relentlessly starts zapping people with this like ray gun thing, and it turns them into dust, or maybe it consumes them. I don't really know. I think it's just dust because later Tom Cruise is like getting it off his clothes. But it's just scary, and you're watching this movie and you think, oh, there's just one of them, but then later on it zooms out and there's so many of these tripods and they're just killing humans. And it's scary because, like, if you're ever a kid and you look at like little ants on a anthill or whatever, you literally own them. You can do whatever you want to them, and that's what we are to this tripod. So here's the scene, and oh my gosh, everyone running away, and you realize it's like no one cares about anyone but themselves. It's natural human instinct to survive. Like you know, it's so hard to stop yourself from wanting to survive, so you will do whatever it takes to keep going. And what's even scarier though is that if you're a parent, which none of us are, but if you are, I can only imagine the instinct to also save your offspring. So as a father in this, Tom Cruise, it's like he has to save himself, he has to save his children, he has to worry about other people killing him and his children, he has to worry about these aliens. It's fucking scary. But then you gotta listen to the actual tripod noise. I don't know if it's gonna make it anytime soon. But, and I know I'm taking a long time to do this, that's okay, because I only have one scene.
Press play.
Oh shit! I thought I was frozen. Listen to this.
Get ready.
That
As it like takes a giant shit.
that noise scarred me as a kid. Like I couldn't, and it's just standing over hundreds of people, and like I couldn't listen to that noise. And it still gives me the chills to this day. Like it like gave me like some kind of PTSD as a kid. Like it was weird. Like it still bothers me like a lot. But then there's this other scene from the same movie, and they're in the basement hiding from the aliens, and it's not the whole famous basement scene, but it's something else that happens outside of the basement that they're in, and you can see all the tripods walking away, spraying red mist over the earth, and it's arguable that it's either blood or they're trying to terraform the earth so it becomes more like Martian land or whatever, but if you keep
Are they
going,
from Mars in this movie?
It's never said, but in the original they are. But this scene right here, where an alien tripod takes a human being out of its like basket where it holds all the human,
yeah, this is scary.
and then just stabs it with a needle and sucks its blood through a gigantic tube. Like it is brutal. It is gruesome, and like that, watching that as like a fucking 5, 6, 7-year-old. If that's not the scariest thing you've ever seen in your entire life, like I don't know what is. Like that's scary. Like I think what's scary about it is that you don't have control. You have none. You can't do anything. But yeah, that stuff scared me to death when I was a kid, and it still does to this day. Like it ruined me kind of. That's it though.
I remember as a kid, I saw this movie. For some reason, the burning train scene sticks in my head. Isn't there a scene where Tom Cruise and the kid are sitting on the side of a railroad track and like a burning train comes flying by? Isn't this
no,
a thing?
fuck, that's from something else, or maybe it's from this, but there's also something else like that in some other movie.
'Cause I remember that freaking me out as a kid.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Why did the aliens suck?
No,
blood
you know
if they
what
also
it was?
eviscerate them?
It was
The
it
aliens
was
would eat
the
the
army
humans.
Humvees
Is that how they
coming
eat
down
them
the hill.
by turning to dust?
They went to go fight the
No,
aliens.
That
and they were-
happens in that too, but I could have sworn there was a train that flies by. It's just burning.
I know what you're talking about.
Right?
I don't know where it's from.
Is it not from?
I don't think it's
Other
from
worlds?
this.
What do you mean Spider-Man 2?
I can't hear myself. Oh, there we go.
Tobey
But no,
Maguire's
shit.
face
Wait,
might have
wait,
scared
Tobey
you.
Maguire's face is
He said
beautiful.
spider.
Oh shit!
Woohoo!
I can't believe that worked.
But yeah, to answer your
God
question,
damn.
Adam, they eat humans. That ends up being their downfall because they ate so many humans that they started contracting diseases that the humans had, and it ends up just killing them. But the movie's so good because it's like you're being eaten alive. It's aliens from another world. There's like so many things going on. It's brutal. It's gruesome. It's scary, and it really scared me as a kid, and it still does. This is Johnny's. What is it?
Fail safe.
Fail safe. The
Final
noise
scene.
to fail
So
safe.
skip to.
I did.
Okay.
The sky is very bright.
They're on the phone.
Oh my gosh! Jesus Christ! That was really loud.
Yeah. Play it one more time because I talked like an idiot.
I'm not playing that again.
Fine. But isn't it scary?
Blow the speakers out.
And that's the end.
Yeah. And then it cuts to like I forget the guy's name from 12 Angry Men who looks like Kellett. But then it cuts to him dropping a fucking bomb on New York or some shit. But
No, I'm not doing.
I've read the book to the World of the Worlds. I've watched the one from like 53 or whenever it came out, and then I watched 2005 one, and I don't like any of them. I don't know why.
Really?
I just don't like how it ends up like, oh, some bacteria and they beat him and that's it.
Well, I don't like the ending, sure, but
But-
the concept, like the graphic, it's so I love that. That's
Which
why
is
it
weird because
scares
you
me.
think like an alien story written in the 19th century I'd love no matter what because it's like such an interesting idea. Like they first started thinking about aliens sort of,
Yeah.
but for some reason
On tripods, it's so weird.
yeah,
Like that is weird. Like a weird idea.
because we're like bipeds, so they're tripeds.
Tripedal, bipedal.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just think it's well. I don't think the aliens were talked about. What they talked about in the book, or just the machines?
Well, in the movie, I don't know in the book, I don't remember, but in the movie they talk about how like, oh, they have 3 eyes and 3 whatever, like everything that humans had 2 of, they had 3 of.
Oh.
So they had 3
Why'd you say it
testicles.
like that? Oh.
Okay. Who's next?
It's a great question.
I think me, sir.
Adam.
Adam,
Another anime.
Okay.
Adam boy.
Better be scary.
Ah, wait, who just said anime?
He did.
Ah, got him.
There you go. Take a shot.
Damn.
All right, Adam. Let's talk about this scene.
You said who said anime in a man's voice, and you're looking at me.
This is The Visit by none other than M. Night Shyamalan,
Yes, this is good. I love this.
known for great works like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live-action movie. So basically, these 2 kids are going to visit their grandma and grandpa who they haven't seen before because their mom doesn't talk to them after she, I think, had a certain pregnancy or she was with a man they didn't like. But basically, the kids get to meet her for the first time, and their camera has not been working up until now. And the grandparents are weird, but they're like, oh, it's grandma and grandpa. They're just odd or whatever. And the mom is confirming it all the time. Like, yeah, they're weird people. And finally,
The mom, it's her parents.
yeah, they finally get the camcorder to start working, and she shows the video. He goes up to his grandparents and shows the video of him through the camcorder, and the mom starts freaking out because she's like, "Those are not your grandparents," and it's like that house is just your grandparents live there. They're the only 2 people that ever lived there, and it's like hundreds of miles or like many miles of woods and woodland, and like it's very hard to access that area. So she's just like why are these 2 people living here? It makes no sense. So it just freaks me out because these are 2 little kids, very incapable of defending themselves, and they're stuck in a house with 2 strangers who up until now have been acting very strange. And you have no clue why they're acting like that. And now just like that's like just like drops like a ton of bricks on you, and it's just like, oh, these kids are trapped in this house and they have to go through these crazy ass woods to escape.
At what point
stuck
does this
with 'em.
happen in the movie?
This is like
It's trying to remember.
This is like either
halfway.
I think like 2/3 through or halfway.
Yeah.
So this is like the twist of the movie.
Yes, I think it was 2/3.
Yeah.
I think those kids can take a couple of
and
people.
like you just said, like, because I seen this movie too. Like, I didn't expect that. I was just be like, oh, there's grandma and grandpa, and she's like, those aren't your grandparents, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I thought that was a really. I
have a
or
question.
they show the grandparents the mom and they go, that's not your mom.
I have a question. Well, didn't the mom drop them off?
No.
How'd they
took
get
a
there?
train there.
Oh my
And then the
God.
grandparents picked them up.
How would they know
She can't talk to them because they've been in like they've had such a nasty relationship. But she's like, at least I let them see their grandkids.
Wait, how did the non-grandparents know to pick up the grandchildren?
Because what was
the
it?
plot made them know.
Yeah, right. Like,
No,
what
there was
was it?
they had explanation for it. I
And
think
and
maybe
why
she
this scene?
emailed
Why was
them, I
this, is
think.
this the scene where they discover that those are not the grandparents?
Yeah.
Yes, because the mom just confirmed it for him. I think maybe they emailed each other or something.
Catherine Hahn's a good actress. She's good.
Or maybe
There,
they
I
sent
said
letters. It was something like that. But yeah, I just thought it was really crazy. Like I thought it was such a great plot twist. The last act of the movie is a little. It's some parts are very goofy, but overall I thought it was a pretty decent, scary like movie.
Troy. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, spoiler alert, because you already like, the one part. There's a part in the movie where the fucking, fake grandmother was trying to lure the girl into the fucking oven.
Oh yeah, she goes, can you get into the oven and clean it
Yeah,
or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
Scrub the back of the oven, honey.
I'd like to see a prequel with the two grandparents fight each other. The two
They have, like,
couples.
walkers
Yeah,
and
they're
they're
like
smacking
doing
each other with
they're
the
killing-
walker.
yeah.
There's a scary ass scene where the grandma just starts spouting some crazy nonsense about aliens and like her like weird like religion or whatever. She's like, "Don't worry, the God blah 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 will come from space and
Scientology.
pick us up or whatever." And you're just like, "Holy shit!" She's like actually believes the shit, and she's gonna murder you guys.
You know what movie I would love to see? It's a prequel to The Visit, but it's like it opens with like their grandfather in bed, and he's like laying down on top of his wife, and then all of a sudden like he's laying down on top of her, and then he's done, and then all of a sudden the door opens, and he's like, "Who the hell's that?" And he looks, and it's his wife. And she goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm having sex with you." And he goes, "That's not me." And he goes, "Whoa!" And that's that one.
Sounds like
Okay.
a comedy.
All right, Troy, what's yours?
Isn't it your turn?
Oh, is it Amanda's turn?
I thought it went.
Yes.
Adam,
Okay, Amanda, what's your
me.
turn?
I have one. It's called All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, and there's a kill scene in it, and it's just not realistic. I mean, it's realistic.
What
but
year is this
can you
from?
turn it up? I don't remember.
Like,
Like 2000
decade?
something.
Yeah.
So, this girl is basically like a huge manipulator, and she's like fucking killing everybody, and making friends, making a love interest, and just trying to get her way. And she was invited to a party, and nobody knew who she was, but she like made herself like the popular girl, and everybody thinks she's hot, and like everybody thinks she's cool. So she's like coaxing all these people, and then her quote unquote love interest. You can skip forward a little bit. Like you could, yeah. Oh, well, that wasn't what I wanted.
We'll keep talking.
All right, so it's in a mud pit. So if you put like mud kill scene or something like that. Okay, so, oh yeah, this might be it. Yeah, so they're like her love interest. Like he's like, we were gonna die together. Like they were gonna commit suicide together, and she's like, fucking no, dude. So she's calling this guy to help her because she was like acting like he was gonna kill her.
Is that
And-
Amber Heard?
Yeah. And so
Can't watch this anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
explains
she's a
why. That
scumbag.
explains why she stinks.
and so yeah, so they're like fighting. These two guys, one stabbed another. She goes after the guy that said, "Oh, we're gonna die together." Starts stabbing him, and then Garth is just laying there. He stabs
Oh.
him again, and then she's running, and there's just this part that comes up. He's yelling, "Mandy, Mandy, like like I love you. We're gonna die together. We promised it. We were gonna die together." And then she falls into this fucking pit of like dead animal and mud.
Ew.
And
Wait, so Mandy is the bad one though? She's the
Yeah.
manipulator.
yeah,
Okay.
that's her. Yeah. And so she's in this pit of like rotting animal flesh, and she falls in it, and then he flies in,
Holy shit.
tries to kill her, and is like trying to like suffocate her in the mud or whatever, and she grabs the knife,
machete,
or whatever, and yeah, so she's like playing like this weird like lust thing, like he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I loved you, we're gonna die together, and she's like, yeah, right. And it was just like, it's so fucked up because like people are like that. Like, they're going to manipulate you, and it's, like, so realistic, like, something like that could happen. She's like, like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, let's just be friends. And I'm like, that's an asshole move.
Wait, so why is there, like, a dead animal pit?
Dude, it's in the fucking middle of nowhere. No.
That's probably how they take care of dead animals on farms.
So she starts, no, like, you're missing the good part. Like, she hits him, like, with this fucking piece of wood, and he's, like, begging her, like, die with me. And it's just, like, emotional, like, visceral.
Butt crack.
And so she hits him again, like, a couple times with it. And she has the machete stuck to it.
Oh, it's stuck in the wood.
Yeah. And she's just, like, yeah, he's, like, begging her, like,
she just
die
stabbed
with
him
me.
because it went through the wood.
And she just said, like, fuck you, and started, like, beating him to death with the log piece.
Just like Johnny Depp.
Honestly,
you could just catch that log. She's
You
swinging it
sure?
at, like,
This kid's
2
a
miles
bitch.
an hour. Just catch it with your arm.
Yeah.
You have to take a hit, but then you grab it. Like it's
Right,
just,
but he's also, like, 2 feet from the pit that he almost fell in.
yeah,
honestly,
but she weighs like 40 pounds.
I'm kind of glad she killed him because he seemed kind of like an incel.
Yeah.
No, he was
He
actually
did.
He was not, like, a bad
I
person.
mean, his name is
How is he
Garth.
not bad? He said he was gonna die with her.
How is that?
That's crazy. You
Well,
want
no
to?
shit.
That means he's bad. He's like,
No. They were both going to die. So
They were going
that
to do
makes
a
him
double
bad?
suicide?
explain.
Obviously, there's something wrong
I'll
with him.
explain. There was like a suicide pact,
Yeah.
and the guy and the girl thought they were gonna take care of the mission where they kill everybody and then die together. And the girl was like, "No, you fucking idiot! I used you, and now I'm gonna kill you too!" Ah, ha, ha. And then at the end, she's like, "I was innocent the whole time," and so she just killed people and got somebody else to do it for her.
Typical Amber Heard.
Typical Amber
I was
Heard.
innocent the whole time.
But
She's out of her depths.
it's a good movie. Like, it's, like, slow kind of in the beginning.
I liked it.
What?
That was a great pun.
I would have said something, but Amanda had my mic.
I didn't hear
what
it.
was the pun?
I said she's out of her depths.
I don't get
Oh, she beat
Johnny
the shit out of
Johnny Depp.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice.
What do you mean? It was a good one. It was a good one. I liked it.
You guys suck.
You have anything else to say about it?
No, I just, like, the only reason why I thought it was scary was, like, it was just, like, a real, like, it was, like, an emotional thing. Like, this whole time this kid thought that, like, that she loved him and, like, she was going to run away with him, basically, and they would get away scot-free with everything else that they did. And then she turns around and she's like, fuck you, dude.
Yep, don't trust women.
All
But,
right.
I would like to comment on how insane that jump he did into that pit. That was some athletic prowess I have not seen in a long time.
Like,
That was-
full yeet into there.
dude, he flew in there. I don't know who got that take.
Because
That was
usually,
crazy.
like when a shot like that, so that shot was framed so that the ground that he was jumping off was at the bottom of the frame, and it was pointed up at the sky, right? Usually in a shot like that, they show the person jumping off and like landing next to the camera or on top of the camera. In that shot, he
just went over
just
it.
exited the top of the frame. Like he just shot out.
he just shoots the
That's fine. Who's next now?
I am.
Me.
Oh no, Troy.
Troy, what do you want?
The Passion of Joan of Arc.
Oh.
The end.
He
the
pulled-
burning scene.
He pulled a film student on us.
Oh yeah, this movie's amazing. Oh my god. So the
Fuck, I
big
should've
thing
put
about
Faust.
this.
Then I can rub it in your face. Be like, oh, I got a movie that's 1 year older. Or yeah.
So the thing about this is that this really happened, right? There was a woman named Joan of Arc who, said God spoke to her and became some knight and did things. So the point being that eventually she's captured or whatever, and they're like, oh, you're a false idol, you're a heretic, whatever. And they sentence her to death. And this entire film came out in 1928. It's silent. First of all, the way they capture the shots and everything is like, it's very haunting to me. And it's silent, so you don't hear a thing. There's actually a score for it called Voices of Light.
Where's the color?
Shut up. And it's a haunting score. But anyway, in real life and in the film, at the end, she is burned at the cross.
Spoilers.
And
Good.
yeah, spoiler alert. She's burnt at the cross. And to me, I don't know. When I first saw, oh no, oh my gosh. I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh. Censor it.
Oh my God.
A rogue nipple.
We should all look back. We should all do like Carol back in the day, healthcare. We can all be little babies
We gotta
sucking
make
on.
sure Johnny can't do Biden impressions.
We can all suck on it. We can all suck on a titty and live off milk.
So I think her performance is so powerful in this. And it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy to me that humans did this to another human. They burned her at the cross. And the way it's filmed, the score that goes with it that we can't hear, unfortunately. I don't think it's on the actual, it's not on this.
It's not.
I checked. It's called Voices of Light. Look it up. It's great.
Which is the shot in this movie of like the famous shot of like her crying?
That's earlier in the movie? It's earlier. Well, there's a few. Because this film's known for its close-up shots. It kind of started the whole, like, I don't want to say invented close-up shots.
It revolutionized
like this. Like, that was not norm at that time.
She looks so tired.
Yeah, there's a whole movie's her arguing. And the thing about this movie, too, is that, like, the real transcripts for the trial of Joan of Arc exist. They're, like, you could read them. And they use those transcripts to form this movie and, like, for dialogue. So, like, the things that people are saying were actually said. And it's just haunting to watch this person beg for her life, and at the end, she's burning. At this point, there's no dialogue, there's no title, because it's a silent film, so there's the title cards and all that.
She could use some water.
She could use some water.
Did the Catholic Church sentence her to death or something?
Yes, because again, she was saying that God spoke to her and told her to go on this great journey, and they were like, "No, he didn't. Stop lying. Like God would never speak to you. You're a woman."
Maybe she was lying.
She could have been, right? I mean, maybe she was, but it's just the fact that they were like, "No, we'll burn you to death," and they're like, "Admit the whole movie is them.
burn you to death.
We'll burn you to death. Admit you're lying, and we'll burn you." She's like, "No, that's what happened to me." And,
what was her mission? What was she supposed to do?
Conquering something or other. I don't remember exactly.
What? I'm gonna conquer. Joan of Arc, what do you want to do? I'm gonna conquer something.
Conquer something. God told me or something.
They put down a conqueror. They saved millions of lives.
You're right. She was gonna wage
They
war.
stopped Hitler.
Well, no,
She was gonna start her own crusade.
At this point, she had done stuff. Like she had led armies and crap. Like
that's
she had
horrible.
done stuff. Who said she wasn't fighting for a just cause?
What was the just cause? What was her just
cause?
What
was it? Killing Muslims?
Killing your people.
She was leading crusades. She was killing my people.
Thank God.
Thank God she burned.
Yeah, but I
hate Joan of Arc.
Woman power. It overrides. It
oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
She was a girl boss.
I love Captain Marvel.
Even if she was killing black people, it doesn't matter. She's a feminist icon.
This is like
shit.
This is like porn to Adam.
She killed my people, and you want me to cry for her? Dude.
Well, we all know you hate women, so this is, you're getting off to this right now.
Love women.
But anyway,
I love Captain Marvel.
The point, yeah, sure. The point being that this happened to a human being. I know you people blow yourselves up or whatever. So.
Holy shit!
Oh, dude.
What?
Dude, you gotta cut that out.
Yo!
You cannot say that.
It's a full-blown racist.
Holy shit.
It's funny. What?
You know things are bad when Johnny says you can't say
You
that.
gotta cut
Like
that
Johnny's like kind of like my gauge.
Look, here's the thing. I don't give a shit if he gets canceled, but now they have a thing where it's guilt by association.
What are they gonna cancel?
So
me
now
on?
that they can't, if they ever cancel him, they're gonna go, "Oh, well, you sat next to him when he said that,"
You
and
can't
then I'll go,
blacklist his
"Well,
views.
it wasn't me." And they're going, "Still, we have to kill somebody, so it's gonna be you."
Listen, friends are allowed to be horribly racist to each other.
You were just
And
racist to an entire culture. What do you mean?
Okay.
Like,
But
that was
that's
like a
culture.
middle school racist remark.
I'm in middle school. What can I say?
we all used to be like in middle school.
Okay, you can't start.
We always
Can't do
pick
that
on.
either.
He's doing
Stop,
Biden
okay,
impressions.
stop it.
We always pick on the Arabs.
Stop it.
Like how it
But the
always
mic
was-
is catching everything
How
you're
it always
saying.
was. You supposed to be.
Dude, every word is making Mark edit more, and he's gonna get more tired.
I'm really angry. Let's move on. Whose turn is it?
Wait,
It's,
I gotta ask.
Okay, hold on.
Will there be like one giant beep over like the past like 5 minutes of
no,
dialogue?
he's just cutting.
Don't
it.
worry about it.
That'd be amazing.
I
think
don't
that'd be
know if
great.
I'm cutting too
No,
much.
you know what
out
it's
of
gonna
it.
be? It's gonna be. We're gonna go back. It's gonna be Mark doing his best Troy voice, and he goes, "Well, better than your people, Adam. Your people are very nice people. And I
Very nice people. I will shake all of their
It's like
hands.
when they dub curse
I
words
love
in,
all
on
Arabs.
TV.
They're great. Why, thanks, Troy. You just put that in.
Okay, all right. Whose turn is it?
It's my turn.
All right.
Bone. But how many more are we doing?
We can go another 20 minutes.
All right, I want to do
Nice,
bone
nice.
bone tomahawk.
I have 2 more. I knew you were gonna pick that, based on what you said last time.
Ooh, my next movie just popped up. My next movie just popped up.
They say next booby.
My next movie.
Yeah. Hey, all this guy's
It's a little weird, Troy.
I'm picking boobs.
He goes, "Hey guys, you want to go to the boobies?"
The booby. Yeah.
That
Here, watch
lady's
this. So
booby
this
popped
scene.
out.
Hold on, wait, pause this for a second. So
What the hell?
the premise of Bone Tomahawk is after the town doctor is kidnapped for a sheriff. You can hear me though.
I know, but when you talk to us, we sometimes can't hear you.
Oh. So it's a sheriff and 3 other men from the town. After the doctor's kidnapped, they hunt down these cannibalistic cave dwellers that took the town doctor. And it's Kurt Russell plays Sheriff Hunt. What?
Let me know when I can play it, okay?
All right. It's Kurt Russell plays Sheriff Hunt. Matthew Fox plays John Bruder. Richard Jenkins plays Chicory. And Patrick Wilson plays Mr. O'Dwyer. And they always call each other like Mr. last name. They're never like, hey John, what's going on? They're always just like Mr. Bruder, Mr. O'Dwyer. I don't know why I like that, but anyway, it's like a western. It's a hybrid. It's a western horror movie. It's like was made for like a $1 million budget, and this is when they get to the compound, not the compound, the cave that what do they call them, troglodytes are, and they're basically like these half human, half like Neanderthal type people that are cannibals, and they have them trapped at the end. And this is a scene of, here, you can play it now with sound. So now they're trapped and they're injured and stuff like that. And the guy that was taken with the town doctor, they go, "Where's the other guy?" And they go, they ate him. And now we're about to watch. You can skip a little bit. Now we're about to watch them. They take this one guy out. Oh, dude, I remember watching this and be like, whatever I have to do in my life to not die like that, I will do it. So they're taking a deputy out, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He's unconscious and he wakes up. And they take off his clothes. Oh, dude, hold on. You skip a little bit more because he's naked.
Boobs and butts.
They make him naked and stuff. And it's called Bone Tomahawk because all their weapons are made out of bones. So watch. So now he's waking up and he's like, what the fuck's going on?
Don't tell me they're raping.
And no, they start smacking him with the tomahawks in the back.
Yeah, they're cannibals.
And then watch, ready? And then there's such a bleak and visceral thing to this. So now they have him all sprayed out. They're holding his arms.
Yeah, it's like primal.
Yeah, it's like the worst. We hear. Skip like 20 seconds. Watch, ready? They're about to scalp him with a bone tomahawk.
Jeez.
Like this isn't even like this is like the first part of it. This is like,
holy shit.
I mean, you're just listening and they're scalping.
What the hell?
But still alive.
Oh yes, and a toupee.
Then they put it in his mouth. They put they jab it in there with a spike. They nail his scalp into his mouth with a spike. Now they're turning him upside down, holding his legs so he's in a V shape. And then they're cutting him in half from his asshole with a bone tomahawk while he's alive.
Mm.
Oh God! Why?
And then they rip him in half.
Ooh.
And then they eat him.
Oh. Wow.
This is a good scene.
Yeah,
this is horrifying.
I want to see this movie now.
I remember watching that,
and
I was thinking about that, like going to bed for like 3 days.
Yeah, and that's something that's like like I said, it's like primal,
right?
And you're just like normal people, like serial killers don't do that, like,
right?
That's just like a whole other level.
Like imagine having serial killers do some crazy. Like Jeffrey Dahmer used to drill heads in guys' heads and then pour boiling water into their brain, but. Like that's what I was saying when we were doing talking about Halloween. Like imagine if like you live an okay life and then your life ends like that for no reason. Like that's the last thing you experience.
I'm actually really pleased that you picked something like this because I'll watch stuff like this and I'll do just what you said. I'll just sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
Like oh my gosh, like yeah, this stuff like I don't want to say keeps me up at night. But this stuff like is the reason why like I can't get anything done because like I'll just daydream about this. I'm like I can't believe this happened.
So here's something that I just thought about: when they nail the scalp to the back of his throat, wouldn't and maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a biologist, but wouldn't that like penetrate your spine? And maybe you would be.
Yeah, you could still be sentient though. You still be alive. Your blood's still flowing.
Yeah. But like, wouldn't like you possibly be paralyzed from there down? Like, isn't that a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, like, it'd have to be pretty accurate to hit your spinal cord.
You think
and also,
so?
we don't know if it just went down. It could have gone like
in his throat.
Like it could have gone like into the back of his neck. Like just not even fully in there. Not even fully in there. It could have just been like an inch in. But I mean, I would rather have it not in my throat at all.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying. Maybe.
I was gonna say this is interesting that was like shown because I don't know if it has anything to do with this, like the history about it, but like, natives to land, like to the U.S. land, like natives,
American Indians.
Native American?
yeah, like they like they would do that to like trespassers and stuff. They would either rip their dicks off and shove it in their throats, and then shove a stake in it, or they would scalp them and do the same thing. So it's interesting.
So
Is it,
why
like,
not?
Dependent on tribes.
I don't understand, man.
Well, they would do in Vietnam when they found American soldiers. They would cut their balls off, put them in their mouth, and sew their mouth shut. It's just crazy. That was Vietnam. Like what the fuck?
That's some last meal.
Here's the thing about these Vietnams.
Okay, no. I stop.
Only Joe can do that to me.
This was a really good one, Johnny. Guys, who's next?
Oh, can you do my last one?
Do I have to type it in?
Yeah, could you?
What is it?
It's funny games.
You suck.
Just go to the full movie. I have a clip from there that I want to
What's
do.
funny games?
It's
you
not
never
a funny
watched
movie.
it? Oh, it's a really good movie.
Is it like one of those? Is it
just-
like one of those eye gouging movies?
103-103-40.
First of all, Adam, this is the remake, so you suck for that.
Is it the remake?
Yeah.
I didn't want the remake. No, there's the original is on here too. Not this one. Mark, could you get out of this? I'm sorry.
Way to screw it up, Adam.
Okay.
Is that Naomi Watts?
Could you go down?
What year? Tell him what year.
It's
97.
Oh, there you go. There you
Why'd
go.
they-
See the one right there.
Yeah.
103-40.
Is this like what is this like? Is this gonna like is this like eye gouging bullshit? Like one of those
No.
movies is just violent for hyper violent for no reason?
No,
It is, but
it's actually
it's not
no.
like, you don't see
this-
the visceral.
This was a
like-
subversion on that.
Is this
the
a
whole
foreign
point of this
movie?
was to not give.
Is
you,
that why they made it remade
No,
it?
no,
so
no. But it's
soon?
like it is very violent.
It is very violent, but you don't see the violence.
No,
Alright,
you
Adam.
don't. But it's
So explain to us the scene.
oh yeah. So basically, these two guys just came into the house and asked for milk and
Eggs.
eggs, and progressively they get more invasive in the house and start asking for more stuff. Then they full blown just keep the family hostage. So now they're saying one of you is gonna die, and we're gonna play a game to figure out who it is, right? So this guy goes to get it, and he leaves his psychologically messed up friend in the living room with the family. So he goes to get food to make a sandwich, and he like hears the gunshot. So one of them is dead. This whole movie they've been kept hostage, and we don't know who the hell died. So now he's just making his sandwich. He doesn't care.
At this point, you hear screaming too.
Yeah.
So
Here,
someone's
turn the
shot.
sound. Can you turn the sound on?
So you just hear the agony of the family.
Michael Hankey, what a dude.
And
Jeez.
this guy just doesn't give a shit. He's just like
Making some tuna.
doing whatever. There's a lot of crazy scenes in this movie, but I enjoy
is a
this part
must
because this
watch.
is like the peak part of like this is like the climax of everything. So you just see the blood on the TV, and just by the screams you could hear it's the parents, and you could just you can put two and two together after a while.
They killed the son.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two parents and a son.
What did they use to?
There you go.
A shotgun.
That's what I mean by it is very violent, but it's not. You don't see like it's not violent in the way like the scene he just showed. It's violent in a way like
Yeah, it's absolutely.
you just see a freaking dead body.
It's not
of a child.
gratuitous.
See, it's shit like this that makes me want to learn how to fight and then buy a bunch of guns.
So you
Like
can
it's
do
just,
this.
dude. I feel like right now I don't care, like
Mhm.
because I don't have anything. Like, I don't have any other than my family. Like if I'm living alone, like okay, whatever, it's just me. But like if I feel like as soon as I get a family, I'm gonna be super paranoid about like, dude, if I swear to God, if somebody fucking comes to my house.
It is terrifying, dude. They literally just go to their house and ask them for like groceries.
Milk and eggs, yeah.
It's crazy.
Are they
And then-
neighbors or just random guys?
Random guys,
This
but they
is their
say they're the
vacation
neighbors.
home. This is their vacation
Yeah.
home, so they're not familiar with the people, you know.
But yeah, this is the climax. He's just like, now these two, they leave
the
now.
climax. There's still a half an hour.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's still 30 minutes
This
left.
is the climax for the reason that the child dies. And it's like, now
And
you feel
the
like that was
invaders
the
are
breaking
gone.
point. Now you get a nice long wait. And this scene lasts forever. This is brutally long.
Well,
and then
it's them grieving and trying to
Yeah.
escape. It's brutal.
And you're like, okay, it's finally done. Like, it's over. These two are alive now. And then after a long amount of time, like this legit lasts for like 10 to 20 minutes. And then finally you see that like a golf ball roll through the door and they come back and they literally just pretended to be gone so they could just terrorize these people. It's just crazy. It's like if a random family just got terrorized for no reason, just a random selection, you know?
Yeah, that's literally what it is. It was a
Yeah, it's
random
just, like,
selection.
The like
Who can we mess with?
yeah, like you said, like the scenes are so long that it's just like it's such suspense of like, is something else gonna happen or is nothing gonna happen?
Yeah.
What's
and-
that guy
and
from?
at
What's
this
that
point,
actor
they're trying
from?
to call for help, and I don't know.
Yeah. What's also great about this scene is like it shows how they get over the fact their son just died in the way like this is actually normal. Like it's not everything is like a movie scene, you know? After your son gets shot like that or something brutal like that happens, there's a point where you have to resume being a person again and you just have to go on your phone
Well,
and like call the people. You still get food or whatever.
well, don't
you know?
forget, there's like a 7-minute
Yes, grieving.
long take of just them just sitting there in silence, and then
Of
they're
course.
like, okay, we
but
got
they have to
moving.
move forward. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely, and they say that they're like, don't look at him.
It makes it feel way too real, you know? It's like
The dad is from the movie The Lives of Others. That's where I know him from.
and then that's the ball just rolling
Well,
because they came back
yeah,
to terrorize some more.
They keep taunting them
got-
throughout the
How's that?
film with a golf
Lost the
ball.
wife?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck do they choke her with?
I think that's a rock or
like
something.
a rag or something, a wet rag. Yeah, it is a brutal movie to watch. Like absolutely. I remember I watched this,
How
right?
does it end?
Oh, you don't want to know how it ends.
Do they all just die?
Can't tell you.
Tell me, I don't want to watch
We're
this movie.
literally watching it.
They all die. They all die, and they move to the house. Like the killers move on
Oh,
to the
wait,
next
wait,
house
wait.
on the block.
Show that one scene. There's one scene that's crazy.
Without context, they might hate it.
No.
Is this a foreign language? Or,
Yes, German.
Do you know
Jesus
when
Christ.
it happens?
Do I know what happens?
Yeah, no, do you know when it happens?
It happens shortly after this.
Okay. This keeps
But the thing about this movie is, like, I watched it, I don't know, 4 in the afternoon maybe, and the idea was to watch this movie, then have dinner with my family. After I watched this movie, I had no appetite. I'm like, this is sickening. I'm like, I am so like revolted by this.
Oh shit!
Oh, she got him. Play the scene. Let it play out. Spoilers for anyone who wants to watch this. Please don't watch any further.
Well,
This
I'm
movie's a
gonna have
gem.
to censor so much of this episode on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Well,
Why didn't he shoot her?
Well, what happens
no,
here?
just watch.
Shoot-
Just
why
watch.
did she shoot him?
What happens
We
here?
can't just watch. We have to talk about
Oh,
what's
sorry.
happening.
Yeah. So
This is what happens. This is when the movie changes. After his buddy dies, he grabs the remote and rewinds the film. So
What?
till before the
fuck.
guy died. So he can grab the gun from the wife.
nothing in this movie implicated anything like this.
Yes, it did.
Oh no, there was fourth wall breaks.
Multiple times the killers talk to us directly, the audience, and they're like, "So guys, who's gonna die next? What's gonna happen?" And
No,
they
but
talk
you know,
to us.
some movies do this in an artsy way, but they
Yes.
never implied that
they
these guys
never
could do
implied
something
that
like
they can break boundaries.
now. It's like a
this.
cosmic horror. 'Cause
Yes,
it's like you can't
yes.
do anything.
And
That's
at
like
this point,
it's like a Buster Keaton sketch in this horrifying movie.
yeah.
My favorite Buster Keaton sketch is
Adam hates Buster Keaton, and I hate Adam. For it.
what?
I don't know. I just make fun of him.
banana peel.
Let's not get into it. Let's carry on with the show,
But yeah,
please.
I just
this
make
is going
But there's
on
a
for
good
like
Buster
long.
Keaton sketch where he misses an elevator. So what he does is he takes the arrow that indicates the floors and puts it back to 1, and then the doors open and he gets on the elevator. That's what it feels like to me.
And it's crazy because the entire scene that we just watched plays out again, except now we see, they're a step ahead this time, and he grabs the gun from her.
He plays
then
back time.
He plays back time, and then
It's
they
like-
just move on to the
What the
next.
fuck are they doing
house.
with her?
Oh, they push her in the lake. They drown her. Because the deal was, they said to the family, they said, "Oh, do you think we can kill all 3 of you by 9 a.m. tomorrow?" And they said, "Oh, well, what you gonna bet on?"
So they just went to this lady's house after they dropped her off and said, "Could I borrow some milk and eggs?"
Yeah, and then the
They
movie
move on
ends.
to next.
The movie ends, and it's crazy because on a second viewing, you see them at in the very beginning of the movie when this family is going into their little vacation home for the summer. You see the killers next door on the front lawn of their neighbor, implying that they just did the same thing to their neighbor.
It's like
and they're moving their way here. It's so good. It's such a good movie.
It's like
Please
a very
watch Funny
clinical simulation of just slaughtering people. You know.
Well, that was crazy. I think we have time for 2 more.
Definitely watch that movie.
So who's next?
Well, mine are
Amanda.
the rest of mine are boring. So.
I'll be quick with mine.
Amanda, which one is yours?
Do you want me to just do my last 2?
Well, I'm gonna have you and one other person.
All right, so for this one, just make sure the sound is on before you play it, because it's a very short clip.
Okay. Which one is it?
What is it?
Grave Encounters 2. So with this one, don't play it. So for this one, it's very short. It's like 30 seconds. It's your typical found footage paranormal thing, but it's made by Tribeca Films, and it's like a B horror movie, and it's great. And I like it because it's like it's just fucking cool. It's like Paranormal Activity, but like better, because you actually see what these things are at some point. And this was like,
except for Paranormal Activity, it's Grave Encounters.
Right. So this is the point in the movie where this is like one of the first times that you see what's actually like after these people, because previous to this, they're investigating. It's like college kids investigating this old building, and they set it up to look like like they're doing a paranormal thing, and they have cameras and everything, and they set up cameras. 2 people died. Don't know how the fuck they died. And then this is the first thing that they see when they're running away.
Oh, it's going to be spooky.
Oh, so it's just this demon thing with a
I've
giant
seen
mouth
this.
and no teeth. And he's climbing through a glass window trying to grab the people. And he's terrifying because he's like 10 feet tall. No, he's probably like 7 or 8 feet tall.
So where are they right now? Like in an abandoned what?
Yeah, they're in an abandoned building.
Why?
I don't know, because they're doing... Did you not hear what I said? They're doing a paranormal investigation.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like one of those like scary video games I'd see
Yeah.
Markiplier play.
I'd
But,
punch him.
like, prior to this, like, they didn't see anything in the movie. So, like, you just see this guy, like, fall out a window. Like, but it looked like something pushed him, but you couldn't see what it was. So, this was the first time that they saw it. And, dude, that fucking scared me the first time. Like, when you're
How
just,
old
like...
are you?
Fucking 20. So, because, like, when I was watching it, I was alone. I was in the dark. And it was just, like, I was so submerged in this. And I honestly didn't expect that to happen because they were in the middle of talking about what just happened. You know? So I'm like, oh, they're not going to interrupt the scene. And they fucking did. And this fucking monster dude just fucking climbs through the fucking window.
That's a good monster. I think it's very terrifying.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, who's got the last one?
Well, then don't I go? Well, mine's boring because mine's not...
Okay, then
My last
pass it
one?
to somebody else.
Same thing as
No, I'll say mine really quick.
No, I have like 20
Do
on
mine
here.
really quick.
Well, there's only one. We're
I
only
like
doing one
20
more.
on here.
Well, let's hear it. Tell me what yours is.
My last one would be The Phantom Carriage from 1921.
Fuck you. No, I'm doing The
Did you-
Shining.
Okay.
I thought you were going to have mine. Mine's The
Yo,
Exorcist.
do The
Oh, yeah.
Shining. Do The
I've
Shining.
never seen The Exorcist. Yeah, so I've realized I've watched this movie. Like, I watched it recently because I rewatched all Kubrick's movies recently, and I realized that it took me like 5 times to watch this movie to realize at the 5th time, like I went, oh, this is like the scariest movie I've ever seen, because like people always talk about like Kubrick, like he makes the actors do like 7,000 takes or whatever, or something like bullshit like that. And there's some stories about it, and like especially when you see some of his movies, it just feels like he's doing it, and you see the movies, and you're like, okay, it's okay. But I think this one, like the whatever he was up to, man, completely paid off, because there was one point in this movie, especially like around this scene, where I was like the overall anxiety and like the atmosphere of my room right now that I'm watching this in, I realized it's just this slow burning fear that you have throughout the second half of the movie. Like none of it, except for this one scene where she sees the bear giving the businessman a blowjob, which just freaks me out, like for some reason. But like other than that, like the whole movie is just this slow, like blood curdling, like fear and like this crazy anxiety that just like there's such an atmosphere to it, man.
That is so weird too.
And there's something so smart about it. That's like that it puts you in this mental state, man, that just freaks you. Like it does it so much more than any other movie. Because like any other movie, like they use the visual medium to put you in a state of fear or to scare you, right? And they usually do that by like just showing you like shocking things or just like, you know, like this gratuitous violence or this bleak violence. But in this, it's actually using like pictorial technique and like sequence of images to actually invoke that in your brain. I think it's such a genius. Sequence, particularly that, but also like basically the last hour of the movie is just fantastic.
Do you have an opinion on Stephen King not liking the movie?
Well, yeah, I don't really care, but it's funny because because in the book or something, it's like a yellow car that they're driving.
Yeah.
But in this one, there's a scene where it doesn't serve any purpose to the movie really at all. I'm sure maybe a little bit, but it's the guy, the other guy who was the Shining, Scatman Carruthers was his name in real life. He's driving and he sees like there's like a road crew and like an 18-wheeler or like a log truck crushed a yellow car, and it's the same car that the Torrance family. But in the beginning, the Torrance family was driving a red car, so that was basically Cooper going, "Fuck you, this is my story now." And then Stephen King made The Shining in like the 1990s, and nobody cared about it. I forget who played.
Wasn't there like rumor that they were gonna try to do a reboot of The Shining? I heard that was gonna happen.
I don't know. Well, they just made Dr. Sleep, so that was a direct sequel to this.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen. I should probably see that.
I'd want to read it before I see it, but I mean like, I know we're talking about the scene, but I when I read the Shining book, I just think the ending in the book is a lot better than the ending in the movie.
How's it end in the book? I'm not gonna read it.
In the book, first of all, it wasn't an axe that he used. He used a croquet mallet in the book, and he gets chased by like I don't know if it happens in the movie. I can't remember. He gets chased by a hedge monster, like the hedge animals made out of a bush and stuff. Like shit gets crazy. But at the very end, Jack realizes he's going crazy, and he basically crippled or like injured, and he tells his son, his wife, and the caretaker, "You need to leave now," because the entire winter he's forgotten to check on the boiler, so the entire hotel blows up.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? At the end of this movie, when they show him in the picture, I think this might be the first time in a movie where like it ends with like, oh, them ending up in the picture, like that type of like what are other examples? Like the first episode of the new Twilight Zone reboot they did, he ends up on the wall in the back, like stuck in the wall or something, or in short films where people get trapped in like a painting or something. Like there's always that kind of thing in a horror movie. I think this movie may have started that first, where they end up like in a picture at the end.
Wouldn't shock me.
I like how every like scary thing implies a lot more stuff. Like, so you just start putting pieces together. Like you're just like, holy shit. So why is that there? And then you start thinking about the bigger picture. I don't know.
Right. Well, what are I don't know if it's, but when like the kid, like what's his name, Danny or something, he's playing with his whatever on the carpet, and he cuts to a front shot of the kid, and you see the carpet pattern is pointing this way, and then he cuts to a reverse shot of the kid from behind, and the carpet is pointed the same way at the camera. So like they switch the carpets in between shots just to like fuck with you, like shit like that.
You know, we actually only have 2 left, so let's just do them.
Okay.
Okay, whose turn would it be next? Troy's.
Well, we skipped over me to get to the Shining.
All right, let's do yours.
So okay, The Phantom Carriage, 1921. It is an old movie, another silent movie.
What's your favorite movie from the 1920s?
Why does this one have color?
Probably Passion.
What the hell?
Well, so that's blue because a lot of silent films tint the film blue to indicate it's nighttime.
Oh.
And like orange would be like sunrise or sunset. It's just to indicate the time of day. Like this is the dead of night. Anyway, the film is about this drunk guy, right? Dies on New Year's. He's the last person to die in that year. And the rule is the last person to die in a given year becomes death for a year until the end of next year, and then, you know, the mantle passes on. So this guy dies, and he made a promise before, you know, he died, obviously, to visit this one girl on New Year's that he can't do now. And Death is like, all right, we'll do it, whatever. before you have to take over for me. And pretty much on their way to do that, this guy is recounting his entire life.
I'm going to leave the room because I want to see this movie.
Yes, please. It's fantastic. I'll wait till he walks out because I don't want to say. So, the whole film is really just this. They're recounting this guy's life and what a shitty life he had. Not by, like, shitty in the terms that he was a shitty person. He was awful to people. He, there's this one scene where the girl that he made the promise to, actually, because he's, like, poor and whatever, he goes to this Red Cross place, and that's the girl he promised to come see next year. And she mends his jacket for him. He just rips out the patches. He's like, don't touch me. Like, and he just does all this terrible stuff. He's a terrible father, terrible husband. And, upon his death, and he's realizing, like, oh my God, I did so much wrong in my life. And, like, it's like too late. Like, I can't do anything about it. I'm dead. And, like, it's such a horrifying concept. Like, granted, we're all not shitty people, right? Like, we may have done bad things in our life, but just still, like, that concept of dying and seeing our lives being like, oh my God, like.
So that's like the movie you said before, right? It's kind of similar.
No, yeah. because a ghost story was like, he dies and he sees what plays out after him. Granted, time loops and he sees, his life again. But this is, like, different in terms that this guy has so many regrets and he's so remorseful. And to me, it just comes off as very different. Like, because the two characters led such different lives, that a ghost story deals with more of the unknown of death. Like, what if you're confined to this space? This, it's like, I guess you're kind of confined to a role, but you're free after that. You're free after, you become death.
Yeah, you kind of you're like an indentured servant.
Right. And you're, and it's funny because it's revealed that the death that comes for our main character is actually a friend of the main character who died the previous year. And, like, we see he looks terrible. He looks exhausted. He's, versus when we saw him before he died, like, we see him minutes before he died, like, they do a flashback. This movie does flashbacks within flashbacks, which was unheard of at the time. But in the flashback, we see his guy. He looks pretty, I mean, he's not the best looking guy, but he looks good. And it's like, oh my God, like, this took such a toll on this dude. But this is such a haunting movie. I'm not even going into it as much as I probably could.
Wow.
But it's
I love
terrifying.
flashbacks, so I probably like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's silent, so, I mean, that's a big hurdle for people. But the entire thing is free on YouTube. Is this one free? Passion of Joan of Arc is, I think this might be free too.
All right.
But I recommend it.
It better be.
Let's get Johnny back in here.
Want me to go wrangle him?
Yeah, go wrangle him real quick. We might cut until you come back. Johnny's back. Okay, Amanda,
Johnny,
you have
yes, Papa.
the last movie
Eating
for this.
sugar?
Listen, I know
Adam?
all the listeners are thinking, finally, the podcast is good again.
Nobody was thinking that.
So we've got the last movie of the show, and I don't think Johnny could take 5 minutes without interrupting something. Anyway, the last movie of the show, Amanda, what is it?
The original Exorcist, and it's the head spinning scene. Put the
Max
put
von
the sound
Sydow.
on.
Love him. That guy play
Saito.
Yeah, so the original Exorcist, nothing was ever seen like this before, especially, like, having to do with religion so bluntly. And so the priest is, trying to expel this demon from this child. And this is, like, at the pinnacle of the movie. She's, like, the worst she's ever been. And then now, she's, like, moaning and groaning and yelling and screaming. And then she just sits up from the bed, breathing this breath. You can see all, like, the priest and her breath because it's so fucking cold in there. And he's just like, yep. And then you just hear her fucking neck crack as her head makes a complete 360. And now I picked this for multiple reasons because, like, it's fucking creepy still to this day. And, like, the makeup's incredible for when that was made. And the actress is amazing. But my dad told me that this scarred him for life. Like, he was 13 when he saw this movie. And his mom's like, yeah, sure, go watch it. Go see it with your friends in the movie theater.
It's like rated PG probably in the 70s.
It was like PG-13, so that he just turned 13. He's like, oh, I get to see a scary movie. And he told me all the fucking kids are screaming and crying in the movie theater. And the parents are screaming because, like, they've never seen anything like that. And, he was, in a area at the time where like, everybody went to church, and so it was very real. And like parents thought it was real. Parents, like teachers were like, you can't go to school alone. Like nobody's coming over your house. Like it changed everything. But it's definitely one of the creepier.
What's the name of the girl?
I forgot her name.
The
actress?
The character.
My dad doesn't allow this movie in my house.
Really?
Yeah. He won't allow the book, won't allow the movie. Really? He doesn't even want us to talk about it. Yeah, remember we were talking about it? He was like, stop. So he's like, he's leaving the room. He won't let us have it in the house.
I think it's interesting, and it speaks volumes to the fact that I've never seen The Exorcist. But even I know that iconic shot of her head spinning. Everyone knows, if you've never seen the movie, you still know that shot of her head spinning. And I think that's iconic for a reason.
The girl in the movie, her name was Reagan, but it's Linda Blair as the actress.
When I was little, and I was like obsessed with like WWE, I was watching WWE clips, and I saw a clip called Undertaker Scares Kane. And I was like, oh shit, he scared his brother, like whatever. And I look, and like it was back like in the early YouTube where like people just put jump scares in random videos. So I'm watching this all closely, like, oh shit, like what's Undertaker gonna do? And then all of a sudden they smash cut to her face with a scream in the background, ah! Like that, like full blast.
Oh yeah, like the Scary Maze game.
Dude, I was crying, man, for like fucking a half an hour. Freaked me out, dude. I was crying in my sister Chris's arms. I was like 10.
That's just scary.
Fuck that thing.
All right, so look, come to the end of the show. So we're gonna do look at you, you're fucking. We're gonna do a movie recommendation by Johnny. Then we're gonna do a word reveal. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Johnny, what's your movie recommendation?
Well, when it comes to movie recommendations, you need to.
Johnny has like maybe 2 jobs for this podcast, but definitely one.
No,
definitely one.
Look, here's the tricky thing about horror movies, right? Sometimes there's so many to choose from, and I'm gonna choose. Actually, okay, this is a good one. I'm gonna choose.
This is just Johnny going for another time. This isn't bullshit. This isn't even.
No, I'm gonna choose The Devil's Backbone. Guillermo del Toro movie from 2001. It's my favorite movie of his. It is 146 minutes long, and the logline is, after Carlos, a 12-year-old whose father died in the Spanish Civil War, arrives at an ominous boys' orphanage, he discovers that the school is haunted and has many dark secrets which he must uncover. And I thought the tone and the feel of the movie, and it has like horror elements to it, but it's more of a drama with like. It's more of a drama with horror elements to it, but it's the tone of it and the what would you call it? It's very
the vibe.
The vibe, but it's poignant. It's very. I was very impressed by it, and I would definitely recommend everybody watch it.
All right, word reveal. John, you can go first.
I had a jump scare. Somebody probably said that. I just didn't. Young. Oh, when I was young, I saw that. And then I got you. I crossed out the word. I don't know what it was. What was the first word I got you on?
You didn't get me. I wasn't.
I got scene. It was scene, spider, which I can't believe that actually worked, and then anime.
Troy.
So, all of mine were to try to get Adam to say something so I could beat him with a rubber band. Bro. Adam loves bro. Cap. Animation. Car. And anime.
Amanda?
So one was specifically that I thought Johnny would say. It was a quote. It said, "'Cause he's gay," but you didn't say it. Damn it. Died, anticipation, fucking scary, which you technically said, but you don't get anything. And then, no, dude, because I thought Adam would have said that.
All right, Adam, what are yours?
Ice cream, banana,
I hate you.
Cookie, pizza, Halloween.
Oh my god!
Dude, was Amanda?
I actually got him to say
the only
banana.
one to take a shot?
No, Troy took one.
I took 2.
Amanda took one.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah,
win.
neither did I last episode. I don't think.
Look at my hand.
Guys,
even when it's not a competition, I'm just like, I win.
Guys, thank you for watching this episode of Screenshots.
Thank you, guys.
I don't know if this is going up, but happy Halloween. Have a great time.
It's not Halloween yet.
Like and subscribe.
I don't actually hate
It's the
Muslims,
Halloween
by the
month.
way.
Johnny, shut up.
Yeah, shut up, Johnny.
We'll just post it whenever Halloween comes.
Bye, guys.
Like and subscribe, please.
See ya.
Make that subscribe button gray.
All right, now let's talk
Thumbs
about
up and follow
hold
our
on,
Insta.
before let's
Smash
talk
that
about
like button, bro.
let's talk about the real scariest scene in cinema history. The